I'm Dr. Cara. I'm an MD.
Hi.
Hi.
Sorry about that. Hey,
That's okay.
Sit, stay.
Step inside.
Yeah. Shadow, come.
Detective Walker. This
Hi.
is Detective Sergeant.
Hi, good. No, that's all right.
How are you?
Sure, good. Shadow, come here.
Let's talk about Stephan Stearns again. I got some updates from his jail file recently, and then I also want to talk about this Dr. Mahmud Cara. Dr. Mahmud Cara out of Hudson, Ohio. I'm getting so much info and body cams that I'm just putting them into one video. And these two creepers kind of remind me of each other, so I thought, okay, these two would go well together. In general, I like to keep the topics of my videos separate, but I'm doing so much research on so many cases and getting so many body cam videos that I'm putting them everywhere. I'm putting them here. I'm putting them on Patreon.
Hold on. Just hold on a second. Hold on a second.
No.
Hey, I'm sorry. Give me that.
And I'm also putting them on my other YouTube channel. You might not know about it. Plunder body cam videos. It's taken me a while to figure out, okay, how does YouTube want us to present this stuff and everything? So that was kind of more like an experiment. For all the people who don't want to hear me yakking and my commentary, go visit and subscribe to Plunder body cam videos. Because honestly, it takes up so much work just researching, getting the body cam videos, dash cam videos, researching these cases, getting the arrest affidavits, getting everything, that sometimes all I have enough time to do is edit them and put them up, or even put them up raw on different places. So go over there for much more info as well. But in this one, I want to talk about Stephan Stearns, how the jail down there in Florida told me, please note, Stearns was temporarily rehoused to medical to make room for another inmate. He is no longer housed there. I was asking them if you might remember that video where they told me Stephan had been rehoused to medical and it said HRI, and I was like, oh, is that really high risk inmate like the docket came up with, the docket on YouTube? He was probably correct. I was thinking it stood for heat related illness or something. Why was Stearns in medical? So I asked the jail and they told me he was only temporarily housed there to medical to make room for another inmate. He is no longer housed there. So they only moved him there technically, I guess, because he wasn't sick. Anyway, Stearns has another couple of months to cool his heels in jail before he's scheduled to appear in court again. He did not appear this past week for that hearing. The next time Stearns may appear in court is April 23rd, 2025 for the CSAM case, 9 a.m. And hopefully by then we will hear if the judge decides, okay, we can keep this evidence that detectives pulled from Stephan's phone, from his Google Drive, from all of that. We shall see.
Right, good morning again. Welcome to pretrial. At pretrial, we're going to be discussing your cases with the attorneys. I'm going to be inquiring of the attorneys what the status of the case is, whether there's reasonable cause to grant more time to prepare for the case, whether the case is in a position to resolve, or whether the case should be set for trial. You should have all met with your attorneys prior to this date and should have received an offer of resolution for your consideration. I'm going to take a couple of cases out of order that require the assistance of our live court reporter. State of Florida versus Stephan Stearns, 2024, CF 632.
Danielle Canal for the state. Oh, we just don't know what happened with the
We'll receive the waiver of Mr. Stearns' appearance pursuant to our administrative order. That waiver is accepted. The court has also received what's purported to be an unopposed motion to continue. I noticed when reviewing the docket, there's been 3 motions to suppress evidence filed on February 6th. Looks like those motions deal with a search and seizure of a cell phone and material contained therein. Those been coordinated with my office and set for hearing.
Not yet,
That have been continued twice before in April and July. Office of Public Defender's been on the case for almost a year. When do you anticipate resolving these motions?
There's one other motion that I have to file, and I'll be asking the court to hear before the motion to suppress I intend to get that motion filed by the beginning of the week and at the end of this week, but I'll be reaching out to Ms. Hackman in regards
What's the substance of it?
to in regard to closing order.
Ms. Fennell, the motion to continue was reported to be unopposed. Do you agree these matters need to be resolved prior to trial?
For the integrity of the case, yes, Judge. The evidence viewing that was scheduled in this case ended up having to be canceled because both Ms. Smith and I ended up in trial and the other attorneys were not available either. So that is scheduled in March, and I don't believe that we will be able to proceed to trial until the defense has had an opportunity to review that evidence and these motions are resolved.
Right, the matter is going to be continued without opposition from the state. Our next trial is going to be on April 22nd with a trial period that begins May 5th and runs through May 21st. My apologies, April 23rd will be the pre-trial date with a trial period that begins May 5th through May 21st. Anticipate that the motions and hearings will be scheduled in advance and heard and resolved in advance of the April 23rd pre-trial date. Anything further, Ms. Smith?
But I have a proposed order for music.
Thank you, Ms. Fennell.
Nothing further.
Thank you. That'll conclude our pre-trial on Stephen Stern's 2024 CF 642.
Just support the proposed order you have your access to the motion.
State Floor versus Larry Rose.
Now, before I delve into Dr. Mahmud Cara, that case is a trip out of Hudson, Ohio. This well-trusted doctor, 58-year-old man, he was recently convicted for assaulting the R word, you know what I'm saying, a younger lady. Now, she was 24 years old, but she was family. She was in a position of trust, kind of like Stearns. Technically, he was not Madeline Soto's stepdad, as they keep calling him, but Stearns was also in a position of trust. And of course, Maddie lost her life, and she was only 13, but both cases are pretty horrific. So before we go into Dr. Cara's case, which is a trip, and look at some of the body cam I've gotten thus far in that case, this man, he apparently practiced or worked for Cleveland Clinic Hospital, but he was originally from Libya, and at the end of one of these documents, they're like, he's begging, please, don't deport me, please. He would lose his life. We'll get to that point, but Stearns better be glad he's in Florida, I guess, and not Libya. Anyway, let's go over really quickly Stearns' notes before we delve into Dr. Cara's whole case, because there's a lot there. Sometimes these jail notes are confusing. It says January 20th, I guess at 10 a.m., there was a reassessment completed, and Stearns must remain in max prison, max security, max whatever the heck that means. Monday, January 20th, that same day, the notes say that Stearns refused his breakfast tray, but he did eat his lunch tray. So Stearns must not be much of a breakfast person. Now, by Wednesday, January 22nd, it says, per confinement review meeting, inmate will remain house alone in PC, protective custody, for safety reasons. Inmate has recreation. And then there's some codes. I don't know these codes after the notes. Thursday, January 23rd, he refused his dinner tray. On Saturday, January 25th, Stearns received a haircut. So he is getting his haircuts. Maybe in preparation eventually. Well, he didn't show up in court, so I don't know. He's just getting them just to get them. Now, this was interesting. Monday, January 27th, it says medically clear to work. So Stearns is well enough, able enough to try and give back to society in some way. He's cleared to work. But then the very next note tells us He's not eligible due to charges, at least to work in the kitchen, I presume. The way these notes are written can be so confusing. Monday, January 27th. Medically cleared for inmate worker, inside, outside kitchen, not eligible due to charges. So is that saying he can't work anywhere? Inside, outside, or the kitchen? Maybe that's what it means. So he's well enough to work, but he's not eligible due to charges. I'm sure he loves that because he's not known as much of a worker bee even when he was on the outside. It's not like Stephan had some incredible work ethic. No. So he's medically cleared. He's healthy enough. Whatever, if there was anything going on at all, I don't know if he was just moved to medical just to make room for that other inmate and it was nothing wrong with Stephan. Maybe they just had room in the medical ward for him or whatever. I don't know, but he's healthy enough. He's just not eligible due to charges, which makes sense. He's not trustworthy enough to, I guess, be in a kitchen or around weaponry, potentially around cutlery. I don't know. I heard, I don't know if it's true or not, that Chris Watts worked allegedly, supposedly in the kitchen in his prison in Wisconsin. Maybe after a while, inmates can prove themselves responsible enough to work in different areas, but Stearns has not. But Stearns obviously has not for whatever reason. Wednesday, January 29th, it says, per confinement review meeting, inmate will remain house alone in PC, protective custody again for safety reasons. Inmate has recreation. So he has some kind of recreation. I don't know what it is. His lawyers are still over there filing motions aplenty. Some of them, it's just too deep in the weeds, too boring, but I will go through and pick out if there are interesting ones in future videos. Right now, I want to talk about this Dr. Mahmud Cara. In a position of trust, assaulted a relative. These offenses occurred on April 8th, 2023 through April 9th, 2023. And he has, spoiler alert, been found guilty. Now this doctor was sentenced to 8 to 12 years for the R word, for battery. He's 58 years old. And if you were to look him up online prior to any of this happening, he was lauded as some great doctor. Except for this. I just found this from a few years back. As a seasoned medical doctor, Dr. Cara has garnered more than 30 years of experience proudly serving patients and their families. After spending the early part of his year treating patients at the Cleveland Clinic, it's a great hospital here, Dr. Cara spent the last several years focusing his work on functional medicine and natural remedies to help people live healthier lives. Well, he really horribly impacted the life of this young woman. Now he has a big, beautiful home. You'll see it in the body cam footage coming up. Mahmud Cara is a 6-foot-tall male, born April 26, 1966. So he's 3 years older than me. Yeah, he's 58. 170 pounds. So he's relatively thin for his height. And you should see, oh my goodness, when the cops come to his door this time, and of course when they go inside homes in many different states, they have to blur it out for privacy's sake, but we can still hear what they're saying. He was really in a position of trust of this 24-year-old family member who was visiting him. I mean, it's a normal thing for her to visit him. And he has this big, beautiful home. Apparently, Mahmud has 2 daughters of his own, grown, out of the house, and they didn't know anything about this happening, but let's dig into the details because I was like horrified reading this. All kinds of trigger warnings here. But basically, the Hudson Police Department in Ohio received a complaint because the girl, she flew back to San Rafael, and it's interesting, I used to work in San Rafael in California. She flew back to San Rafael immediately after all this stuff happened. We're going to read, and she made her report there. So that's when they started, they got the DNA. They started investigating her allegations. I don't know the victim's name. I'm not going to say her name. I don't know it. But it was April 11th, 2023, when the San Rafael Police Department in California had gotten this report of this R word that happened in Hudson, Ohio, back on Saturday, April 8th, 2023. And look what I found on his Facebook page during that same time. So the assault happened April 8th and 9th, and she reported it April 11th. So look, April 12th, he's just sitting there casually. It's like he knows his world is about to collapse, and he's putting up a front on Facebook to counteract it all, I guess. And this one had his daughter's photos in it, but I won't show them. But can you imagine a man harming his family member. And then I see this CaraMD.com website, and it's still live as of this recording, like selling supplements, even though this man's been convicted. It happened at this Fox Trace Lane home, and this home is beautiful. Oh, I see it's sold. I wonder when it's sold. He must have sold his home recently. It is gorgeous. It's $1.2 million, 3 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms. I'm assuming he lived alone. I don't think he's married. Not that I could find, but Dr. Cara does have daughters. So they started digging into this. This 24-year-old girl came to the San Rafael station and reported she was R-worded by Dr. Cara. So she lives in California. So she explained to the cops, I was visiting Hudson, Ohio with some family, and they all stayed with Mahmud. I could see why. It's a huge home. Now, eventually, the victim was alone. She began feeling as if she was drugged after she and some family went to dinner with Mahmud. That also reminded me of Stephan likely, giving Maddie substances to try and make her sleep so he could assault her then. So it says it sounds as if the victim had become unconscious while she was talking to Mahmud on the couch in his living room. And you can see later he's going to be talking to her about medical stuff. He's pretending to be this great relative who's a mentor, who cares about her medical career, her career in medicine, and how he can help her. But in actuality, he's being convicted of doing horrible things to her. She became unconscious while she was talking to Mahmud on the couch in his living room and had apparently woken up on a few occasions and described herself as, quote, being on all fours in Mahmud's bedroom. Mahmud was behind her, penetrating her vaginally. Then she lost consciousness again, so she's in and out of consciousness, like, wait, last thing I remember is talking to my family member, this Dr. Mahmud, who I've known all my life. I've trusted him, and all of a sudden I'm feeling weird like I've never felt before. She's on all fours, and he's doing what he's doing to her. And just wait till you see the body cam. He's acting like, wait, what? I don't remember anything. Like, what are you talking about? And the text messages he sends. I was reading all this like crazy. Okay, so then she lost consciousness again, and when she woke up, Mahmud was still behind her, attempting to penetrate her once again. The victim stated she remembers waking up the next morning. She was also lying in bed with Mahmud and she had no clothes on. So, of course, victims know, look, the last thing I really remember is talking on the couch with this man. Then all of a sudden I'm up in his bedroom and I have no clothes on. Like, obviously, I didn't do that to myself, So the officer stated that the victim had a kit completed, what kind of kit, those sane kits. And the police department is in possession of the kit. I'm so glad she flew straight home to California and got that kit done. She, I believe, had her mother take her straight to the hospital. This woman, God bless her, God help her. She's going through a lot, but her story can be a great beacon of light to other victims to show the steps. Some people don't know the steps. Some people automatically, your first response is, oh, let me take a shower, let me take a bath, oh, this is gross. But she went straight to the hospital. Get this, the officer stated that during the exam, a condom was found inside of her. So she had evidence galore. I guess Dr. Mahmud thought he was doing the right thing by wearing a prophylactic, but that probably helped preserve the evidence even better. So the condom, vaginal swabs, and her underwear are secured in the kit as evidence. They're sending the kit for testing and sharing the results. This is part of that investigation. The victim wasn't sure at that point if they were going to be shipping the evidence to Ohio or what. But the officer in Ohio said, don't do that because of the chain of command. I'll follow up on how to proceed. Eventually, the officer learned it was okay from the DNA manager at the BCI location in Richfield, Ohio. It was okay to ship the DNA evidence from California to Ohio and have San Rafael PD send it overnight to expedite the process and make sure the package is sealed tightly. Indeed, that's a very important package. You don't want FedEx losing that. They were getting the evidence from San Rafael to Ohio. and they're talking about more body-worn camera videos, and I know I have more coming than what I'm going to show you coming up when they first visit Dr. Cara's house. The other evidence link they sent wasn't working, so I'm still getting more videos from the Hudson, Ohio police. I'll either put it here on YouTube on this channel as a follow-up or on Plunder BodyCam videos on Patreon somewhere, so I want to provide all the evidence I can in this case. That's appropriate. So they even kept the condom in a freezer, so that's interesting to preserve evidence. And there's even body-worn camera footage of the interview with the victim. On April 12th, 2023, the officer received a call back from the victim. He says, I could tell immediately she was still emotionally upset about the events that took place. He didn't want her to explain the details to him over the phone, but to take some time in the next few days or the next week and write an email that he could use as her official statement. So the officer asked how she was related to Mahmud, I guess, and a lot of this is redacted, so I can't tell. But she told me he is her blank. I don't know if that's like uncle or who knows what it says. But she's somehow related to him, and she had an immense amount of trust in this man. Like you would any of your, you hang out with your family and you're used to seeing Uncle Joe or whomever. You don't ever expect him to drug you and assault you. She stated that she had known him her entire life and never thought something like this would happen or he would even be capable of doing this to her. The officer asked if she had any blood or urine tests done during her exam, and she said she had a toxicology test done and it came back negative for drugs other than the marijuana she had smoked with her blank over the weekend. I asked when she had that test done, and she had it done Monday night, April 10th. So that was just the next day, basically. That was that Monday. The assault happened Saturday night into Sunday. So she did everything right. She had so much done right away. She really, and I'm not saying that if victims don't do this, they're not doing the right thing. Some people are too emotionally upset and overcome to do anything. But the great part is that by her doing this, she helped convict him and prevented him from continuing to do this to Lord knows who else. And it's crazy to me when I know this guy's a medical doctor. Technically, maybe he knew the right amounts of whatever drug to give her, which of course is wrong, totally wrong. But it trips me out when some people drug others. They have no idea what condition that person has, and they can just randomly think they can do this stuff and get away with it. It's wrong. The detective asked this survivor if she thought she was slipped some kind of drug, and she said yes. She said she had never felt like that before, and it took her a few days to feel normal. She just wanted to sleep. She did say she consumed some alcohol that night, but she knows how she feels with a hangover, and that was not it. Why was this victim visiting Ohio, and who was she staying with while she was there? She said she was staying with her, I believe it might be cousins or something like that, Noelle and Jen, who are Mahmud's daughters. She said they both live in Beechwood and have their own place. Beechwood is really nice, might I say too. And might I also say, Mahmud's daughters likely had no idea what the heck their dad was doing. And in fact, we're going to see where they were trying to follow up with the victim and ask her, like, what's going on? Why'd you leave town? The detective asked when she came to Ohio. The victim said she came on Friday, April 7th, and she went to Noelle's place. She said her mom usually comes with her, and usually they have a big family gathering, but not everyone could come this time, I guess. She said, but normally they always go out to a nice dinner, everyone dresses up. Once dinner is over, they all go out for drinks, and then they go back to someone's house to end the night. She said it's always a good time to see family and get together. So how did it end up just being her and Mahmud at his house on Saturday night? She said after dinner and drinks, they all went back to Mahmud's house. So everyone was there. It was Jen, Noelle, Mahmud, and herself. So it's like this older relative, 58 years old, and his daughters, and I don't know if she's a cousin, whoever the victim is, she is there and hanging out. She's with her family, done it a billion times, I'm sure, known them all her life. She feels comfortable. But then Jen and Noelle had to leave because they each have dogs and they had to get back home. So they're like, okay, we're going back home, take care of our dogs. Now, this woman was going to leave with them, but Mahmud requested that she stay so they could discuss her future and become part of his business because Mahmud is a doctor. So she agreed to stay, and she never once thought to be concerned about something like this happening. She said she's known him her whole life, and he is family. So of course, I think you would trust that. You would think, oh, he's really looking out for me. He wants me to be a part of his business, or he's trying to help my career growth. As a young person, you're 24. Sometimes it's like, what do I do? She said she was never once afraid to be left alone. She said she and Mahmud sat in his living room and began talking about business and life, and then, quote, that happened. She said she felt horrible on Sunday. She wanted to sleep all day. There was a family gathering on Monday, and she saw Mahmud at the gathering, and they did not speak to each other. She said she could not stay there. She couldn't stand to see him, so she told someone she was going shopping, but instead she headed straight for the airport and rearranged her flight so she could leave that day. She said when she landed, her mom and her sister picked her up and drove her straight to Kaiser Permanente Hospital to get the exam done. That's so great. Her mom and her sis were there for her. The detective asked the victim if Noelle and Jen knew what happened, and she said no. So she didn't tell Mahmoud's daughters any of this. She said she had to block them on her phone because they kept asking her what was wrong and why she left. So I can understand that too in a way. Like the girls are just probably reaching out like, what happened? Where are you gone? She must have planned to stay longer and they were concerned. She blocked them because I'm sure she didn't want to tell them, look what your dad did to me. At this point, the detective stopped her and said, don't continue, because she was upset and crying. And this part made me want to cry. She said, I don't know what I did wrong. Ugh, isn't that horrible? Like just by her trusting and older male relative, she's trying to blame herself. She didn't do anything wrong, The detective told her this is not her fault and not to think that it was. I told her take some time, be with family right now. And she said she can't be alone right now because she's afraid. So her sister is staying with her. Very nice sister. I asked her who knows about what happened, and she said someone's sister, her mom, her grandmother, and her dad. And the detective said remain close to them and communicate with your family about how you're feeling so she's not alone. And if she has questions, she can reach out to the detective as well. Okay, so at this point, the survivor, she was able to calm down a little bit. So the detective asked her about school and if she goes to college in England. And she said yes. She said she's in medical school. So she is in medical school, but she doesn't know how she's going back at this point. She said she must, because students must have at least 95% attendance record while attending. Makes sense. Medical school must be so demanding, but she's been through so much. This doctor, family member, claimed to be helping her and assaulted her instead. And she's worried about school. So she was supposed to go back Monday, April 17th. The detective asked if the legal side of this would be difficult for her to return to Ohio if she's needed. And she said no, she will come back. Such a brave girl. So they're like, take some time, follow up when you're ready. If you have any questions, call. Or the parents are more than welcome to call. So they got the kit and they preserved it and everything. And eventually by April 17th, 2023, the detective received the victim's official statement by email. She advised she was traveling back to England for school on Monday, April 17th. She gave her mother's cell phone number and all this stuff. So this is before they visit Dr. Cara. So May 16th, 2023, they're doing surveillance on his Fox Trace Lane home. They're seeing when he left for work at 7:33 a.m. He left in his white 2020 Aston Martin. Very nice. He turned left onto State Route 303, headed westbound, and they're typing up a search warrant. They want to collect DNA. That's what we're going to watch, even though most of it'll be blurred. On May 17th, 2023, they did surveillance again on Fox Trace. They saw him leave again and all that stuff. Now, May 18th, this is when they made contact with Mahmud at 7 a.m. at his front door. So we're about to watch this. It takes him a while to open the door. So he invited the cops inside eventually. He's talking to them through the Ring camera at first, and they can't really hear him. And they tell him about the allegation of the R word happening back in April, and he's like, what? Like they all are, what are you talking about? And I hate the way when he comes in, he's just like, the dog's all wild and he's acting like, don't do that. Oh, stop. I don't know. It's just like this whole big act. And you can't see him for most of it, but you can hear him. What? Who? Yeah, she stayed at my home and, yeah, we drank a lot and he didn't remember having any relations with her and all that. He remembers waking up the next morning and the girl was sleeping in a guest room with all the windows open. I don't know if he's trying to allude to someone else came in there and did that to her. And then he's like trying to find out, when was this reported? What's going on? Blah, blah, blah. They even told him, look, we found a condom inside of her. And he's just like, what? Oh, this is interesting. His response when he found out they found a condom inside of her and it was sent to the lab for DNA testing. They note that Mahmud said, that was 2 days later. Oh, so you do remember 2 days later? Do you really remember what happened Saturday night? You know, Monday, 2 days later. So he did let them swab the inside of his mouth. They were trying to explain the buccal swabs to him. And he's like, yeah, I know the process. He's a doctor. So he knew that process. They got the swabs of his cheeks and everything. But then he did start mentioning lawyers and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got a interesting.
It's Valentine's Day push. I mean, if we can get past it, we can get past it. Alright, I'm gonna put that. Yep. Mike's got one too.
Okay, go ahead.
123 radio from the area. Vista.
The dog was out too. Keep bringing it. See if they answer.
Good morning, Mr. Cara.
Yes, sorry.
Hi, I'm Detective Walker, Hudson Police Department. Can I talk to you for a minute, please? Okay. Can't hear you, sir. Can you come downstairs, please?
Yes, I'm coming down. I'm coming.
Okay, thank you.
Is he coming down?
Stay. Sit. Hi.
Hi.
Sorry about that.
That's okay.
Sit. Stay. Stay.
You step inside?
Yeah. Shadow, come.
Detective Walker. This
Hi.
is Detective Sergeant.
Hi. No, that's all right.
How are you?
Good. Shadow, come here.
Hi.
Sit down. Shadow, come on, Lily. Shadow, no, please don't do that. A while back, an 8-year-old really didn't do that.
Okay, so is there a place where you can sit down and talk for a minute?
Yeah, what's this about?
I'll explain that to you.
Here?
That's fine.
Oh, dining table.
Could you put your somewhere or
Outside or something? Shadow, so you're crazy.
Some kisses out of that one.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we're here due to an allegation that's been made against you, like
Oh, jeez.
AMNA.
Okay.
And so giving you an opportunity to talk to us about that,
Yeah.
if you would like to. You understand what this is about?
No, I have no idea.
Okay, so it's an allegation of rape.
Oh, jeez.
Okay. And we need to talk about the allegations. And also I need to get a DNA swab from
Sure.
you. Okay, so I have a search warrant for the DNA swab.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or you can do it, you can give me consent to do it.
Yeah, you just go ahead and do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's do that first.
Okay.
Can you try to light on for me for a second?
Yes. When did this?
So the last time she was visiting here.
Yes, that was a few weeks ago.
So you know what we're talking about, right?
Yeah, no, she sent the knife.
All right.
Wait, do I have a right to refuse this?
Can, but then I'm going to issue you the search warrant sidewise. You can look at the search warrant if you'd like to.
No, just a second.
Okay.
When was this filed?
Let's see, March, I think it was. So what I'm going to do here is these are two buccal swabs.
Okay.
I'm going to ask you to open your mouth, and I'm going to take the swab, and I'm going to run
I'm
it.
familiar with it.
Okay.
Yeah. Why would she say that?
Well, apparently something happened. Okay. All right, so I'm going to start with the. Go ahead and open your mouth. Make contact.
What do you need to go?
Just open your mouth, that's it.
I thought it was the gate open.
No. You can move it. It opens.
It does? Okay.
I mean, not enough for a car to get through.
No.
Oh, alright, got it.
Okay, so we'll do the other cheat now.
Where was this filed?
So, let me explain all that to you here as soon as,
Lost 23 radio. Go ahead.
Do you mind if I sit down?
yeah, go ahead.
Check's okay. It's in the work zone where they're paving.
All right, so I don't have the report right in front of me right now. Today we were just going to do the swab. If you would like to discuss it, we can. I can kind of talk to you about what was reported.
Yeah, please.
Okay, so I don't have the dates, okay, but I believe it was around March, right, when she was here.
She was here for 2 days.
Yeah, she stayed with your daughters, and then she
Yes.
came here, you guys went
Yes.
out, you had dinner.
Yes.
Dinner and drinks, came back here. It was decided that she would stay the night.
She wanted to stay. Okay, yeah.
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 And you agreed that she could stay the night here, okay? You guys drank, you were to discuss the business, I believe that she said you were going to bring her on board to your business or something like that.
Yes.
And she reported that she felt that she had passed out. And she woke up and you were penetrating her from behind.
Jeez. Okay. That did not happen. Okay.
Okay. We can have a more lengthy discussion about this if you would like.
Yeah, I want to know what she said.
There is DNA evidence. Okay, that's why I'm here, getting your DNA for comparison. So that's basically what she reported. Okay, so when she left, I guess you guys went to a function or something the next day. She left, she got on a plane and went home. When she landed in California, she went to a hospital there, and they did a sexual assault kit. All that was collected, evidence was collected. It was sent to me, which was then sent to BCI for testing. Okay, they tested DNA from her, DNA that was found on her, and there was also a condom that was found inside of her.
What?
Yeah.
That was 2 days later when she left.
Yeah, she didn't know what was in her.
Okay. I mean, I'm not going to make accusations at this point, but that's fine.
Okay, so here's what's going to happen. I have your DNA. Okay, this is going to be submitted to BCI for comparison with DNA that they already have. Okay. Once I get those results back, I will be in touch with you. Okay. Is there anything that you would like to say or add, or is there any questions? I know this is 7 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
You didn't expect 3 officers standing in your dining room question you about this.
Yeah, she was here, but I don't remember any of that happening. We did have a lot to drink that night, but that's, I mean...
Do you remember if you guys had sex?
I don't remember, no. But again, we had a lot to drink that night. I just remember going to bed. The only thing I remember is she woke up in the morning, there were wide open windows and stuff, and she was in the guest room.
Okay, what's your schedule like? What's your work schedule like? A Monday through Friday? Do you leave? Do you work every day?
Yeah, I'm pretty flexible. Fridays I usually work from home, but not always.
Okay.
But what do you need from me?
Well, I just like in means of contacting you. We're going to talk again.
Yeah, sure.
So I guess it's just knowing when I'd be able to get in touch with you. When
Sure.
You'll be able
Yeah,
to...
you can just take my cell phone.
Okay.
And that way, when you need to get a hold of me, you can. I would prefer if things happened at the house and not at work, of course.
That's why we're trying to-
Yeah, that's why we
Yeah.
came here this morning. What's your cell phone number, sir?
Very quick.
You're a resident, so we have no problem. We don't want to cause any problem.
Yeah. Thank you, I appreciate that. Yeah. And for the future, there's a side gate. You saw the main gate?
Mhm.
There's a little walk-through gate.
Oh, we didn't see that.
Nobody sees it. The delivery guys, they never see it.
All right, so if you would like to sit down again, I mean, I'd be more than welcome to have to sit down with you later today if you would like. I can have...
I'd rather, to be honest, I'd rather speak with my attorney.
Okay, that's understandable.
It's just, where are you guys, are you Hudson Police? Or
Yes,
you,
yes.
Okay. So this is filed in Summit County?
Well, it will be Summit County, yeah.
Okay. I mean, where is it filed at this point in time? Is it complaint
Right now, the report is filed with us.
at the police department?
Okay, yes.
Okay.
And it will stay in Stowe Municipal Court at first.
Okay.
Okay.
Still municipal court. Okay.
Yeah. So I will give you a card.
Please.
You know, if you talk to your attorney and he would like to speak to me,
That would be great.
he could do that. There's also an email in there.
Okay.
Like I said this morning, I just wanted to get the DNA sample done.
Okay.
And then we can have a conversation, whether with you and your attorney, or you can have your attorney talk to me, and we can have a discussion that way.
Okay.
Whichever you prefer.
Okay.
I'll give you the opportunity, if you want to give me a statement, you could write down a statement about that
I'd rather
time.
not say anything until I talk to my attorney. It's
Okay.
just ridiculous.
Okay. All right.
I do apologize for.
No, you don't have to apologize.
Well, I make you have to wait. So.
That's all right.
No. We're glad you took care of it here. We didn't have to go to work.
You know what made me take care of it is, come down and she was barking.
Yeah.
She doesn't usually bark unless.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's something up.
Okay. All right. Any further questions for me?
No, thank you. I appreciate
Okay.
it. Yeah,
Thank you for your time.
Thank you for your time.
Please have your attorney or yourself. I'm here till 4 o'clock, Monday through Thursday.
Okay.
Have somebody reach out to me. If you would like to do an interview, like I said this morning, I wasn't really going to get into everything. Just wanted to get this part done. I'm more than happy to set up a time where I can come here. If your attorney wanted to come here,
Okay.
and we can have a discussion, or just me and your attorney can talk.
Okay.
We can do that too.
Okay. And I
Okay.
appreciate your time. Thanks a lot.
Okay. All right. Thanks. Have a good day. Oh, there it is.
So this is interesting. At least the family stopped talking to him while they were working on getting an arrest report. There are screenshots of text messages from Mahmud that were sent to the victim's mom within the last hour. So a lot of stuff started happening after the cops visited Mahmud's house. He was obviously getting very, very nervous. So he was texting within the last hour at noon. This was that same day cops came to his house. So Mahmud has been calling the entire family and nobody is talking to him. He sent the below text message to the victim's victim's mom, and now she's in fear that Mahmud is going to fly out to California to see her, because he did talk about that when you see these text messages. This attorney said he would contact Mahmud immediately and put a stop to him contacting the family and advise him, look, don't fly out to California. There were more screenshots that were sent to the victim's mom from Mahmud, and the victim asked, look, can we get a protection order from this man? And then the victim, again on May 31st, 2023, gave police this voicemail that she received from Mahmud on May 22nd, 2023. So in this voicemail, the guy says he identifies himself as Mahmud and says he was just visited by the police. So I think that's the one I need, because the one I have, is May 18th. I don't know if he's talking about a different second visit, and that's the second set of body cam I'm waiting on. We'll see. But on May 22nd, 2023, I guess he was just visited by the police, unless he's talking about the May 18th visit. And he's like, they're claiming that I AR'd you. And he's asking the victim to call him because he can't remember anything from that night. And he's telling the victim, this will destroy everything, and he will not get his green card, and he will be deported, and he won't be able to travel anywhere. He's continuing, he's like blaming her for his horrible, horrific, evil actions. Quote, you're depriving me of my daughters, and says, please don't do this. Don't you hate when perpetrators try and gaslight the victim, turn the tables like, you're depriving me of my daughters? No, Mahmud, you did that when you chose to do what you did to this trusting family member, only 24 years old. I mean, he's 58. There's no fool like an old fool, evil fool, taking advantage of this young 24-year-old girl, drugging her, doing things against her will, and trying to claim she's the problem. He said he can't let this go through and, quote, you have to stop this. And then he says, please forgive me, and he doesn't know what to tell her. He tells her he doesn't want to lose his daughters, and he asked her to call him so they could talk about the situation. What's there to talk about? Seriously. So on June 1st, 2023, they typed up charges for Mahmud, and his attorney advised, Mahmud would turn himself in on Thursday, June 8th at 9 a.m. So they gave him grace. When the cop returned from vacation, he was informed Mahmud turned himself in as scheduled. He was taken to court and released on a signature bond. These are the notes that trip me out. Notes: Mahmud is from Libya, converted to Christianity, and will be killed if deported. Received threats from his family still in Libya. It's crazy when you see all these people who have done horrific things claiming to have converted to Christianity. I really hope he is a Christian. Maybe that means he can literally tell the truth. I mean, I don't even think he pled guilty. I think this went through a jury trial, if memory serves. It's horrible. So all the other reports and supplemental stuff, I think, has already been covered. They just have a lot of different reports that are like the same thing. Isn't that horrific? But I'm so glad he was convicted. I want to make sure I'm not missing anything. It's just a lot of details. But yeah, this is what I wanted, to read his text messages. You can see screenshots. It's Mahmud, please call me. I was just visited by a detective saying that blank accused me of R word. He must be sending this to the mom. I don't know what to say other than to be apologetic, but please call me because this will destroy everything. I will get grabbed, put into an immigration cell, and deported. This will take me away from my life. And Jenna and Noel, please call me. Please call me. I will continue to keep trying, and if necessary, I will fly to California. I'm beside myself. Something happened. He's claiming to his daughter when she was in London that she did not share. So believe me, as a parent, I understand. He's trying to, oh my goodness, as a perpetrator against this woman's 24-year-old daughter, he's trying to relate to her as a parent, saying something similar may have happened to his daughter or not. I don't even know if he's making that up, but the point is, he's the perpetrator. It's not like, oh, someone else did this to her daughter. Oh my goodness. So this is saying, I spoke to Tariq and the detective that came and took my DNA. I guess this is Mahmud saying, I know a little more of what happened and I'm sick. Sick with shame. Sick with the situation. Bottom line, if blank, the victim said something happened, then something happened. All I can say is, I'm so sorry. I really wish you would call because I feel terrible for her, but I also feel ishy for what it does to a mom. I meant it when I said something similar happened to Noelle when she was in London, and as a parent, I know that just tears you up. FYI, I told Noelle everything this morning, and I will be telling Jenna later on today. And just so you know, I told them if blank said something happened, then something happened. So there's something else in here I want to find. There it is. Follow up, July 11th, 2023. Today, I received a call from Tariq blank, whoever he is. He stated that he wanted to share a conversation he had with Mahmud a few days after the police went to his house. He stated that Mahmud called him around May 19th and 22nd. On the first call, Mahmud explained to Tariq what the victim was accusing him of doing. Tariq stated that Mahmud told him that he has an attorney, and so this is Mahmud saying all this horrible stuff, not Tariq. So Mahmud told Tariq he has an attorney and he's going to discredit everything she says and ruin her. Yeah, sounds real Christian-like. Yeah, right. It sounds horrible. Mahmud continued and asked Tariq to contact the victim's mother because she wouldn't talk to Mahmud. He asked Tariq to tell the victim that he will pay her to make this go away. So now he's trying to bribe them. I'll give you money to make this go away. Tariq stated that he would not make any promises and try to contact whomever. Tariq continued and stated that Mahmud never denied anything happening and never said anything about it being consensual, which he found to be odd. That is odd, because if he's saying, well, I don't know what happened, or if he's claiming, if he ever admitted to the union, which I don't think he did, to the assault, he didn't try and say, oh yeah, she said it was okay. Tariq also stated that while Mahmud was explaining to him what happened, he makes a comment, she blacked out, meaning the victim. So Mahmud basically told Tariq what condition the victim was in the night of the incident. So obviously Mahmud does remember what happened. If he's like, oh, she blacked out, obviously he remembers some stuff. Tariq stated that the second phone call was Mahmud asking him if he had talked to the victim, which Tariq told him no. He told Mahmud that he's putting him in a tough situation and does not want to be involved. I don't blame Tariq. Yeah, you don't want to be in the middle of this mess. Him trying to contact a victim and bribe her and all that stuff. He told Mahmud that the victim was not answering her phone and wasn't talking to anyone about what happened. That's good. She doesn't need to talk to these people trying to pressure her. Tariq then told me if I needed anything else to call him, but he had to hang up. So that's it. Basically, detectives really went through and did their due diligence, did a great job, and I'm so grateful this man has been convicted, sentenced to 18 to 12 years, and he has to register as a Tier 3 offender. So, I know Stephan Stearns' case is different, but they kind of are similar. Just a person looking at their own evil needs and potentially drugging their victim and taking advantage of the victim and doing Lord knows what else, and thankfully getting caught. DNA evidence helped quite a bit. With Stephan Stearns' case, maybe DNA evidence will help. We don't know what they've been able to find with Maddie's body and all that, but definitely photographic, digital images, all that, videos will help in Stephan Stearns' case to convict him. Hopefully the judge will leave all that evidence in and he'll be sent up the river, and then who knows, lethal injection. We'll see what happens with Stearns, but this is what happened with Dr. Cara. Very sad. Just a sad situation. Revelation 22:14. Blessed, happy, prosperous, to be admired are those who wash their robes in the blood of Christ, by believing and trusting in him, the righteous who do his commandments. Now, isn't that interesting? It's not just about, oh, I converted to Christianity, but I'm going to just go drug this girl, and pressure her to not tell the truth about what happened. No. Revelation 22:14 is saying the righteous who do his commandments. It's not just about, oh, Christ is a name, or I identify as a Christian. It's like we treat people right, so that they may have the right to the tree of life and may enter by the gates into the city. Those are 2 updates on cases. I've got plenty more I've really dug into, A lot of them are over there on Plunder body cam videos. A horrific case where a man and his ex-wife lost both of their sons. And a different case out of Butler, Georgia, where a woman was put away, accused of doing away with her husband. So many controversial cases, so much video I'm getting. I thank you so much for watching it all. Visit the links below if you want to see those other videos. And there was another case out of Stowe, Ohio, I put on Patreon. So stay tuned. We'll see what else we find with other cases, and I'll follow up on this one as well. Take care.